Ladies and gentlemen, Totem Pole Sports here coming to you live. And who do we have as our guest? The 5 and 0, the Cyborg, Ad Palmore. Another one and another one. This is 5 and 0, big dog. Tell me what's going on. What's going on in your mind?
Right now, basically, I'm just trying to set the world ablaze, just trying to put the world on notice about who I am and how I'm coming. And that's just every time I step out in the cage, just being able to just make my presence felt amongst, the heavyweights, amongst the world, just to understand that, I'm just in a different time zone when it comes down to this, and just understanding I'm just here to stay for a long time,
Without a doubt, man, this last fight, I noticed, man, this guy, it didn't end as fast as the last one. That's because, to me, it looked like he was doing the 5Ds of dodgeball, man. He was ducking, diving, dodging, everything you could think of, man. What did you think about that? Eventually, you caught him, though, right?
Yeah. I caught up to him. I think it's just one of those things where it's like in the MMA world, it's different approach that you have to the fight game. A lot of people have different approaches. A lot of people kind of find it as in, I guess what he was doing was defined as keep me your distance, being able to set up attacks and different things of that nature. So, to me, I really didn't have any problems with it because, you're going to run into these different kind of people who have these different type of game plans, and you got to adjust to it. It may not be the most exciting game plan or the most exciting fight, but when it comes down to it, you got to make it do what goes on in there, So just like how he could have turned out and been somebody who's going to wrestle me the whole time, I may not be excited for the fans, but it's something that I have to be able to go through and push through and show that I can prevail when it comes down to those different approaches that people have for me.
Man, without a doubt, I think you showed your versatility. You finally were able to corner him, and luckily the ref did his job. As you stated before, it's not your job to stop the fight; it's your job to end the fight, and that's exactly what you did. Tell me how your recovery has been. I saw a sweet video of you doing some recovery and looked like a pool type deal in the dark. Man, tell me all about that. That recovery is so huge.
I'm real big on recovery. I'm like I have like 10 sponsors as of right now. 3 of those sponsors make up 4 of those sponsors make up our recovery team. From I got cryotherapy in there. I got a chiropractor. I also have a tank house flow and myofascia release facility that I work out of, and also CBD products have also helped me with my recovery process. But the Tank House Florida is one of my newest sponsor to date. And what I do is I go in there, I get my myofascial release, and what it does is it helps break down the tissue and help you be able to elongate and be able to help you out in the different recovery processes. So my tissue is, when it's real tight and I have to get these knots and grooves out of my body, I'm able to go and see him and get that stuff going on. And I'm in there for either an hour and 30 minutes. He works on my body. And then also when I go into this tank, it's called the Float House tank. What it does is it's filled with salt and water. And what you do is you go in there and you lay down, you have a little floaty on your neck, whatever, if you want to keep your head above water or anything like that, but your whole body floats. It floats the whole cycle, the whole time. I stand there for an hour, and what it does is it helps me to be able to, it takes away all your senses from sound, light, all that. You're just in there, you're in the dark, and what it does is it helps you center your focus, recenter yourself. Also, aligns your body back into where it's supposed to be at. So in a bed, and when you're walking, you're standing, your body has to compensate itself to be able to make sure it's comfortable. When you're in the water, your body just goes with how it's supposed to go, and it can go back and perform how it's supposed to, so you don't have any pull or tug or give when it's in there in the water. So when I came out of there, my hips and my back realigned really well after that. So, that's something I'm going to be doing routinely every week, just to be in there, have no distractions in there, and to be able to kind of do what I need to be able to do when it comes down to the recovery process. It's real enlightening, though. No sound, no light, no music, no anything. It's just you, your thoughts, and you just sleep. I never fell asleep in water like that. I was asleep floating, so that was pretty cool. So yeah.
Wow, that is super cool deal. Definitely recovery is a huge thing, and I think just doing things that are therapeutic and having some quiet time, it lets you center yourself, get your thoughts in line, and everything. And You know, I know one of the most difficult things is trying to relax sometimes. So that it kind of forces you to actually have to relax, and you know that's definitely something that's got to be therapeutic. And we did, man. We had a big week here with MMA. You know, you saw Fedor's last fight. Were you able to catch any of that? What did you think about that?
I wasn't able to catch his last fight, so I wasn't able to watch it. But to be honest, like the big debate is with Fedor is like, is he one of the goats? Is he one of the people that could be compared to the other heavyweight goats in the UFC? Because they're saying he's not in the UFC. He didn't fight he didn't fight and compete at the high level in the UFC, but then he made a lot of noise outside of the UFC. So can he consider be like one of the goats? And in my opinion, when you look at his body of work, even if it's not in a UFC, I mean, it's against some top level guys. A lot of his greatness really can't be denied. It's just a matter of, I think the conversation should be a matter of if he's the GOAT or not. But obviously, in my opinion, I don't think he is the GOAT, but I think he's paid a hell of a run that not too many people can put a resume next to his and be like, that can compare to his. He's done so much stuff like inside and out of the cage. I think that's another reason why, he's in those conversations, because it's not like he brag or boast or anything about it. It's more so about what the media thinks of him. And I think that's the dope thing about it. When you can compete at a high level and then it's like everybody else has to debate about what you do and what you don't do, I think that's when you're making enough noise for it to make sense.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, Pride was really popular. The Pride kind of got over a little bit before UFC did nationwide, you know, all over the world. You know, here UFC was the biggest deal, but all throughout the nation, man, Pride was really popular back then. But I've had some questions from some fans. You know, they were asking, you know, what is next? Who is next? Have we made any decisions? Is anybody trying to step up to that plate? Because if I'm looking at that resume, you know, people don't want to be people don't want to get knocked out like that, man. It's got to be difficult finding somebody that wants to step in the ring with a 6'4", 255-pound can of freaking whip ass.
Now, for sure, I think really what's next for me right now is my fight after party for real. This is going to be this weekend, so we're going to party, be able to invite the whole city out to come out so we can mingle. We're going to have good vibes, surrounded by good people, at my sponsor club at Revolution Lounge. But then soon after that, we back in fight camp Monday. I already got a date in mind and everything like that. Details be coming soon, but as of right now, I mean, it's true. I've been told by promoters, I've been told by, matchmakers and everything about, people are scared to fight me. And I understand what comes with the game. It's at the top of the level, even at the higher ups, people dug people, and that's fine. I'm not looking to sit here and say I'm the boogeyman of the heavyweights or anything like that. I don't think I made enough noise to sit there and talk, like that. But I'm definitely coming, for any and everything that they put in front of me. So right now, I'm just gonna let the matchmakers do what they have to do and let my managers deal with who I'm fighting. I don't make those contracts and nothing like that. They just go ahead and tell me who it is that I need to go ahead and get after, and I get after them. So that's kind of how I go about it. We do have a couple names that we're looking at getting, and we're trying to find a top level guy, find a top level guy, so people can understand that I'm like this when I go against these top level guys too, to let them understand that this shit don't stop, and it's never gonna stop. I'm still coming.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for people that are listening that maybe don't know who he is and know who I am, this was my tight end back in 2012 at Lakewood High School, the Lakewood Spartans on South St. Petersburg, Florida. You can look those guys up. If you Wikipedia, you'll see Lakewood has put more guys in the NFL on the west coast of Florida than pretty much anybody. And just from that football program, I want to say there has been 4 guys that went into the league. And we've also got an MMA fighter here that is 5-0. So the guy has gone against talent his whole life. And he's just been fighting from day one. This is such a blessing to have this going on right now. You're talking to a man of the people right here, man. This guy, he came from a very deep, dark place here in St. Pete. It was not a very nice neighborhood that he came out of, and he fought every single day of his life to get to where he's at right now. And another thing some fans have been asking me about, when they were watching you live, is they saw some of the tats and stuff like that, man. Can you talk about the tats that you got, and when did you get your first tat?
Ooh. I got my first tattoo in college. No, actually, I got my first tattoo in high school. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's an embarrassing tattoo. But it was on my grandma. I didn't really know I was there. And then my friend was getting a tattoo, and then they was like, "Hey, look, you can get a tattoo. I'll do yours for free. You know, just what you want." I'm like, "Oh crap, I want a tattoo, but I don't even think I was gonna get one." So I just got my grandma's name. I mean, it's safe, just to play it safe. But it was so
Yeah.
horrible. Um, but a lot of my tattoos, tell a story about who I am and what I come from, and kind of like just who I am. So, like for instance, I was able to sit down one day and get like a whole sleeve on my arm and then on my neck. So on my neck, I'll go through these. This is my Conscious Gym podcast logo. It has the lightning bolt inside of it has the gym inside of a lightning bulb. And
Hmm.
that just kind of symbolizes that I'm always, when you get an idea, the light bulb pops up in your head, but then I drop gems. So I kind of think of it as I'm always seeing all my ideas and what I see and what I bring to the table. Where me being so creative has always been a gym is my mind. Not only that, on my have a Nubis. Not on, well, on this side I have a Nubis, but on this side I have me inside of a shark's mouth. That's basically me. That's me holding a heavyweight championship belt inside of a shark's mouth. That's just kind of symbolizing I'll go through hell and high water just to be champion. Um, have the Anubis, just a whole bunch of themes that's surrounded by Egyptian culture, African American culture, and then allow all down my sleeve is the same kind of like theme, Egyptian theme. I have different things. I have raw, just a lot of different, Egyptian symbols on my right arm, and then on my left arm, I have a lot of anime characters. I'm real big into anime. Always love cartoons. It kind of brings me peace. It's kind of like that's what I do in fight camp. I always find me a good anime to watch, two or three of them, just to find like some more motivation, see how they push, and I always love it. It just keeps me out when I don't have to focus on being so focused and having to be so uptight. I
Oh
like to be
yeah.
able to and watch cartoons, and I've always been a cartoon person. So a lot of anime is on my arm, from Joker, from Batman, Wolverine. I mean, you name it. On the inside of my arms, I have Southside St. Pete. I always wanted to know, like when I flex, I want people to know where I'm from. I'm very proud of being from South St. Pete. On my chest, I have a owl, and I have fear God right here. So what it symbolizes is me being persistent, me understanding that I'm having hope. I always have hope in my vision. So it's having it over a cross. So basically, just me understanding that I have a cross over my chest, and I'm always being guided, and also knowing that whatever I put my mind to, I can go ahead and achieve it. And on my eyes, right here, I have a semicolon, which symbolizes me overcoming suicide. I always battle with mental health awareness. I always battle with mental health and stuff. So, suicide and all that has been a part of my life and everything. So, I just lost a loved one from suicide not too long ago. So, it's just always been part of my life. And then over here, I have a shooting star and I have a lightning bolt that's on fire. It's symbolizing the same thing about having hope, being triumphant, being resilient, perseverance, continue to keep pushing, no matter what's really coming your way, understanding that that's what I'm doing and that's what I stand by. So it's just one of those big things that I just always harp on for people is to be persistent in your vision, to understand that everybody doesn't have the same lens that you have, so you can't always understand for them to have the same vision as you have. So
Man, what a good message, man. I'm sorry about that family member and everything. We're in a time though where you go to these doctors and they just want to give you a pill to get rid of something that might not be healthy for you and stuff like that. And I don't think we communicate well, and we don't, tell people that we care about them, and it's some odd times, and I think the things that you've gone through, the trials and tribulation that I've gone through, is what keeps us unique and keeps us pushing and keeps us motivated. We both kind of been raised by our moms, it seems like, and we both had tough times, so I couldn't be more proud of you, man. I feel like I failed so many times in my life, and now I'm at a point where I can look in my backyard and be so super proud when I left Virginia, man. I just left from living on a dude's couch, and now I got it's amazing in my backyard, and I know you're headed in the same direction as well. And I also had a fan recently ask about the locks and everything. Is it still red?
yeah, I got
Okay,
some great.
yeah. Now, what
That's
is that? What is that? I love that, man. I need to get me something similar that I can wear on fight night, my man.
yeah. So what it came from was I always felt like I don't know. I never really told people this, but like, so for me, I always felt like, for one, I wanted to grow my hair out. I always felt like it was a symbol of wisdom, being able to let your hair grow out and everything. And so I wanted to grow my hair out. But then I wanted to dye my hair, and I always try to choose a color. I was always thinking about it and stuff like that. And what comes to me is I always end up thinking so deeply about things that don't even need to be thought like that deeply about. It's like hair, like, you don't need to think that deeply about it. But what I ended up doing was I ended up going with red. Now, red always a symbol of, power, structure, fear, panic, or like stuff like that. But when I thought about it, I was always thinking about like, in the sense of kind of like it was kind of like not a negative, but kind of more so of a dark vision of it, is understanding like, the thoughts that I got going on in my brain could be so toxic to the point where sometimes it makes it seem like my brain is bleeding, or it makes it seem as though I could be overwhelmed by certain things. And then what I think about is when with that thought right there, it's like the symbol of my hair growing. And then since I have a red in my hair, it's almost like I'm still holding on to that pain and all the things that I've been through. So the symbol of actually like blood in my hair is me going through all that stuff like that, but holding on to it and then growing and outgrowing it and stuff like that. Plus, on top of that, I went with red as kind of how people like remember me. They're like, oh yeah, the fighter with the red hair and the gold teeth. So it always helped me out with just keeping it red. But then I couldn't keep dyeing my hair over and over again because my hair thin out and then they'll fall out. So
Hey, this might happen to you. This might happen to you.
Yeah. So that was just kind of like the deep meaning behind why I dyed my hair red and stuff. And yeah, I just I dyed it back black, and I was like, I'm just gonna dye some of them just to make sure people just know that, oh, that is him. So
Oh man,
yeah, kept it like that.
I love it. You're a trendsetter. You know what I mean? You're a man of the people, dude. I mean, I could not be more proud. You know what I mean? There's something about, a guy that was maybe that. There's a terminology called the common man. You know what I mean? And that might be the guy that has to work his whole life hard, all that stuff, man. And that's the kind of background you're coming from. You know what I mean? And now you're doing what you're doing. You're taking all that negative and you're fueling it in the right direction. This is what you're here for. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And the message that you have is something that's going to save somebody's life one day. And I believe you're the type of warrior that's going to save so many people's lives. What we got going on right here is a very special thing. You've been tested to the max to see, if you can get through this. There's something big for you out there. And I don't think you should ever limit what you have and your ability of what you got going on, because I could easily see somebody calling us up very soon, wanting you to be a personal bodyguard for somebody famous, and that could be something you could do on the side. We could put you in movies. I could definitely see you, maybe doing some part-time WWE, pro wrestling. You know what I mean? Speaking of pro wrestling, we talk about there was Bobby Lashley, who has done wrestling and done MMA. Brock Lesnar's a guy that has done both. And I don't see why you wouldn't be right there with them. I mean, you've got the size, you've got the swag, you've got the story. I mean, you're an American hero, my man. You are an American hero. You're a man of the people. And I believe, you've got you. I believe we were chatting earlier, and your mom is ex-military, correct?
Yeah, ex-military. She was honorably discharged. She's in the military and stuff, so she has all the stories about how everything went down and what she remembers and stuff like that. So yeah, she's a proud veteran for sure.
Yeah, man, she's a hero, and you doing what you're doing, you're her hero. You know what I mean? And I understand it because, when my mom comes down here, all of a sudden I'm her hero. You know what I mean? So it all kind of goes around. But back to MMA, I just kind of wanted to talk about some of my personal favorites. and, you know, see if you've seen them, or maybe you can check them out, and, you know, we'll just kind of go through that. But, you know, I first started watching it when it first came out. There was a guy, Tank Abbott, who had like a big goatee like me, and he was just a slugger, man. He'd always knock people out. He was definitely one of my favorites. I had another guy. His name is Pat Smith. I want you to look him up. He was maybe UFC 1 or 2, but I'll never forget, man. He knocks this dude out, and he just runs over to the cage, and he looks at the whole crowd, and he's just like, "What's up?" And I mean, you could just tell dude is dialed into the max. And I'll just never forget that. And I actually stole that and used it when I played high school football. You know, you'd run out, you know, through the tape. The cheerleaders would be holding it, and I would usually look at the team and yell, you know, "What's up?" And oh man, so that always had a good influence. You know, Kimbo Slice, you know, him being a Miami guy. You know, I've had a lot of people say you remind them of him, but a guy I like is Rampage Jackson. I kind of think you're more that style. But with the head kicks and leg kicks, man, Johnny Bones Jones has got to come to mind, man, because you know, I've seen you in person, so I know you're a cyborg athlete. You know, you got the weight room strength. You got the legs, you got the power. I mean, your athletic ability, man. You could have played any sport. You know what I mean? I'm sure you could probably grab a basketball, dunk it right now. You know. But yeah, what do you think about those guys, man? Tell me if you've ever heard of any of those guys and what you think about them.
So the first two I've never heard of. I haven't really watched a lot of those early on UFCs. That was more so like a Wild Wild West. You look at those fights early on, you know, all like jacked to the extreme. You know,
some of them didn't even have weight classes.
Not even weight classes. It was all, you know, jacked up the wrong stuff. But it was just like it was almost one of those things where it's like it's new to the world, so it's hitting by a storm because it's so different and it's so violent. You know, kind of like in the essence of how what was that? What was that old school wrestling thing where it was
ECW?
ECW. It was just like that, like how ECW was one of those things where it's like every time you knew that you was watching that, somebody was gonna be bleeding, somebody was gonna be doing something that was brilliant. So that's kind of how I felt like early UFC was. Then became more structured, and it became, you know, I mean, it was the popularity grew and grew. So when you think about you know, Kimbo Slice, I mean, I grew up watching Kimbo. I mean, I think everybody grew up watching Kimbo.
You were the Kimbo Slice of St. Petersburg, Florida, bud. Yeah.
So you that's high praise, you know, like so growing up watching him and then watching him go to the UFC and then getting that chance, and then, you know, I have watched Rampage, like, you know, his crazy robberies. I mean, it's just like when you think of Rampage, you think of the tenacity and kind of like the intimidation factor that he had, because it was almost like he's walking around with two bombs in his hands, not too many kicks. It's just straight, hey, I'm gonna knock you out, and if you try to take me down, you know, I'm gonna slam you, and just real violent. You know, you think of violence, you know. So really, really admired him, how he fought. But I would really say Johnny Bones Jones. I think there's no debate when it comes down to him being the greatest of all time. Like, I mean, there's always going to be a debate about it, but when I think about him, it's like I don't try to model my game after him, but I try to take all the greats and take things from what they do good or great and take after it, you know, and mix with my own special sauce. Because I feel like I fight different from other people that have different styles. But John Jones, just watching him, it's just almost in awe how he can. It's not how he's putting combos together. It's how he can just hurt you with every piece of part of his body. And, you know, with looking at somebody like that, I kind of want to be able to be like that as well. You know, that's why with my body of work right now, you know, I've knocked somebody out with a head kick. I've knocked somebody out with knees. You know, I've knocked somebody out with a punch. You know, it's like I don't want to be able to show how versatile I am. And he's throwing head kicks. He's throwing knees to the face. So that alone, you know, just goes to show, like, you know, I want to be as dangerous, if not more dangerous than him, you know, just to raise that bar. So you look at the people like that, and then you just hope and pray that you can just train hard enough to become those idols, you know, become your rivals. So,
man, I love that. I love exactly what you just said. And all you young guys out there, man, he just gave you the blueprint. Any craft you really want to get good at, okay, you take a little bit from this, okay, you take a little bit from this, all the best in the craft, and then you mix your own blend in it, and that becomes who you are, man. That's a great blueprint for success right there, man. And I really appreciate you spelling it out for the kids right there, man. I really am. Now if we could, you had what I call the head kick from hell. I posted it on my Twitter. I'll probably do it again when we're done here, just because I love it. And just the sound that I put to it, I mean, it's perfect to me. But I was thinking big hits, and we really had some big studs, at Lakewood. And I always think of Logan McNeil, rest in peace, Logan McNeil. But I just remember guys did not want to go against him. I loved him. He wouldn't bend his legs for me. That was the only problem. He did not want to bend his knees. He had a little knee issue, but man, strong as a bull. But man, the way that guy would hit people from a football standpoint, who is the hardest person that ever hit you? And then who did you hit the hardest in your heart for high school at Lakewood?
Oh man, the hardest I've gotten hit. Hey, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like I've gotten hit. Okay, on my team, I've never gotten hit to the point where I felt like, dang, I never want that to happen again. Because I was a little crazy too.
Yeah.
But I will say this: team, and I know you remember Sherman, Gary Sherman.
Oh man, what a
I remember hitting me. I'm like, oh yeah, oh y'all bringing everything with this. I can say those two right there.
Who was the other guy?
Shaquem Griffin.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So, but I've never got hit to the point where like, yeah, I'm gonna dodge them. Cause I mean, but I've definitely got hit though. Definitely got hit. And who I've hit crazy like, I think probably one of the craziest, like probably crackbacks, probably was like when I had a crackback when we had that little, what was it, like the game in the city where we had played at the little baseball field. We played St. Pete. That crackback. Yeah. That's probably my like hardest. Probably
right.
Hardest
that was
hit.
Al Lang Stadium there. Al Lang Stadium. Yeah. I remember that game pretty well, man. The thing I remember most of it is that we didn't start very well. And I remember at halftime, and that's what you guys don't know, ladies and gentlemen. We played at a soccer field, and what they did is at the 50-yard line, they put a barricade and some cops there, and we had to share one sidelines with St. Petersburg High. Remember that? And I remember we didn't come out and really play the way we needed to from the get. And I remember at halftime, right after we did halftime, I made you guys go close to that line where the police were and, all the tables set up to kind of, to block us from them. And I remember I was like, circle it up. And, man, I had you guys do bull in the ring. And I don't even think they're allowed to do bull in the ring anymore. But I had you guys do bull in the ring, and I wasn't even watching y'all. I was watching the other coaches and the other team, and man, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, what are these animals doing over there?" And from that point on, man,
it was going crazy. That was actually crazy because that was the first time we had beat them in a while too, and I just remember that whole game. We were just all going crazy to finally beat them. And it just felt good. And I remember Tracy didn't get a chance to play that game, so we had Jock.
Yep.
So
I remember too. I remember Donovan Pink, man. He was playing some. He wasn't playing as much, but man, there was one where he had he drove a guy in the end zone, pancake blocked him, and I was like, dude, I see you can do that. Let's go. Let's go, Pink. But yeah, man, what a great group of guys there. Now, how about college? Was there any times that those hits that Sherman and Keem hit you with, like, did you see stars or did you just kind of lose your breath a little bit, or
like getting hit and it's like you know, they get the better of you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like say for instance, I caught a ball, boom. Like I remember catching a ball, boom, being hit by King. Or I remember running, you know, up the sideline, boom, hitting Gene. I'm like, oh yeah, he gonna bring that pressure every time, you know. So just one of those things where it's like, okay, I know these boys came to play type. Not like
Yeah.
I think I've been grateful to just being able to like, you know, not sustain concussions or not get hit too crazy, or probably got hit crazy and probably was just too much of a knucklehead to like have it make me go crazy or anything like that. So, but yeah, I remember. I think another time I got hit real crazy was was my freshman year in college. So we're doing team, right? And they're having a freshman go in. We're doing reps and stuff like that. So they send me on a wheel route, and I'm running. So he throws it. So I'm running. Safety comes right in my chest. Boom! I didn't see him at all. I hit the ground and my whole body slides out of bounds and then almost to the track. And it was like I felt like I was in a movie. He was like, welcome to the big leagues, freshman. I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, oh hell no. Pissed because I'm like, nah, I hate getting hit like off guard like that. So
Oh man, without a doubt.
But never I don't know. I never really got like I've gotten hit pretty bad, but nothing to the point where it's like, oh, I'm probably seeing stars. I probably can't remember it or something. So
see, there's one that really stands out to myself that happened to me when I was a sophomore at my high school. We had a guy by the name of Jamie Lovern, and we did this Wham Trap deal where like the tackle on one side pulls all the way and traps the end on the other side. So you getting a lot of momentum coming. The guy was probably 280 back then, probably 6'4", and I was probably a buck, 90. And man, I just remember he hit me, and instantly, man, it was stars. It was the worst headache. And man, I think I even went over there and like threw up like a minute later. Like it was probably definitely a concussion. We didn't have the test and stuff like that back then, but I never ever got hit that hard again. But yeah, man, that one definitely sticks in my mind as probably the worst shot I had to take. But another thing I wanted to mention to you, you represent St. Pete and everything. There have been some really good fighters out of St. Pete, boxers. We've had Winky Wright represent St. Petersburg, and Jeff Lacy represents St. Petersburg. So it's in the water over here, man. It's in the water, and you definitely you definitely got some of that.
And what I've noticed, like like we have fighters from our city, but like I've been to these different places, and the narrative of what's being pushed is so different. Like for instance, the variables here, like there's jiu-jitsu programs, there are wrestling programs outside of school, there are boxing programs, MMA, kickboxing programs that are available to the youth.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pete, I can only remember a couple gyms being boxing gyms or karate classes, nothing to where it's like the narrative is being pushed, to where you're seeing it in the community. It's almost like you got to find it. With these things, it's almost like they're everywhere. And you can see these different kids being in it and stuff like that. So it's not like, from my perspective or my experience, with St. Pete, it's almost like either playing Little League football, Little League basketball, or stuff of that nature. And it's like over here in Wichita, it's like you can take advantage of being able to do so much more. Not saying it's not available in St. Pete, but it's almost narrative for people to be able to have these variables available. So I feel like that's the luxury that you have here, is to be able to try those different things, and that's not at a like over the head price that's killing you. So you got these kids who can just experience so much more early on. Like I can only imagine, me, my first love was fighting, so I always wanted to fight. So I can only imagine if I could afford to have done a jiu-jitsu class or a wrestling class when I was younger, I never would have picked up a football because I would have never needed to, because I would have been doing what I loved before. But the fact that the narrative is to play football and fighting is more so to protect yourself, not to really go mainstream with it, it's like, okay, I'd rather pick up this football because I have more of my friends doing that than opposed to where I can go outside and be like, hey, look, y'all want to practice fighting? Y'all want to practice kicking? Y'all, it's not really that narrative, not really pushed as much. So I think it's just real good to be able to know that, I feel like your environment can really help you elevate if you even change it or if you tap into the resource that's available for you. And I think I'm very happy that I was able to be in an environment where I could go into these gyms and take full advantage of the options that they have, because I don't think I would be in the position that I would be in now if I was still in Florida trying to do what I'm doing now, because the variables aren't so present and they're not so pushed. I'm sure they're available, but they're not so out in the open for the public to know more about them,
Without a doubt, man, I definitely could see you, being the entrepreneur that you are, possibly come back and get something like that rolling. You know what I mean? The sky's the limit. I would love to see, Cyborg Jim, Southside St. Pete. You know what I mean? There's so many avenues that we're going to cross with this thing, man. This is we really are. We're catching the genie in the bottle here, man. It's all built off of hard work and determination, man. You're just a guy that refused to quit. That's just had a lot of bad breaks, and now you're disciplined. You're keeping on the war path, and super proud of you, man. Let's just keep this thing. Let's keep this thing rolling. I definitely want to get some more gear from you. We got to get you some Totem Pole sports gear as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely, man. And that's the thing. I remember you did a pose or a flex afterwards, and we were doing it live. Coach Taylor was like, "Is he doing the Totem Pole, stance or something like that?" And I was like, man, it looked good enough to me. Yeah, close enough, man. So yeah, man, it's super, super exciting seeing what you're going on with. And another thing I wanted to bring up was the Paul brothers. They're doing a lot of things on social media. You see them doing boxing, MMA. I think it's great just to you're getting people that are more in the entertainment business, focusing on what you're doing. You know what I mean? What do you think about those guys and what all they got going on?
Honestly, people hate them, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't knock nothing they're doing. I mean, you may my thing is this: like, everybody has a niche. Like, everybody has a niche. Like, if you can make somebody elicit or emotion or something along the lines of make you feel something that'll bring something out of you. Like, if you can say here, "Oh, I hate the Paul brothers," you know who they are. 1, 2. Now you're saying you hate what. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep up with them, and every time you hear news about them, that's you staying in tune with what they're doing. So now it makes you not only a fan, but it makes you part of what they have going on, and it makes you more in tune. So for me, what they're doing is to create so much of a storm or so much of a talk amongst the fight world or about fight fans, instead of the fact that y'all now talking their every move because of what they've been doing, these different moves that they're making. So whether you don't like them or not, once they've gotten to the point where they're in your eye so much about certain news, when they're in your eye about the negative stuff and you're like, hey, I hate what they're doing, and they continually do that, now that they got your attention, now I can really go and start putting in the formula that I want you guys to really know about, as opposed to just the trash talk and talking crazy and stuff like that. So I'm actually a fan of it. You already realize that now social media is a big part of the fight game. It really is. If you don't have a following or nothing like that, not too many businesses are going to put money into you, because what they want to do is they want to pay for promotion. A lot of businesses pay promotion. They want to put it in front of us as quickly as possible, and then I want to see and find people. They really don't care about if you meet their narrative. They want to just know that, hey, look, can you cooperate enough to be able to push this narrative for us to promote our business through you? So that's kind of like what I've been understanding and knowing that, hey, these guys got money. So the fact that they've been able to buy themselves to these platforms and then make enough noise for people to create traction and create traffic to where they're trying to do and accomplish, is almost like, if anybody had money, why would you not want to do it this way? I just bought myself to fighting professionally in front of millions of people and won money on top of that. Like, I just bought my own career. So I don't knock them for it. I think it's creating conversations in places where people probably wouldn't have thought about. I also think it's creating avenues for people who probably would have never had a chance to be able to fight on such a grand stage. People aren't happy about, oh, these guys are getting fights with people that they don't deserve to have a fight with because of who they are, how long they've been training. But it's almost like, man, if you had the platform that you had, maybe you could have had that fight, But the fact that they have so many fans and so much money to be able to choreograph these kind of things, it only makes sense for them to be able to do it. So they're putting things in perspective for people to understand that, social media runs the fight world. Two, understanding that you don't have to be a fan for them, or you don't have to like them for you to know that they're going to still be in the media, for you to understand that you're going to still keep tabs on what they got going on. As long as you're keeping tabs, that's all you really can do. And I think they're doing something good as far as bringing attention to it. Not too really fond of the whole celebrity boxing and fighting thing, because, I mean, a lot of these guys are jumping in there with people that against these YouTubers, and they really can't fight, and they're not defending themselves properly. But I mean, it's entertaining, and entertainment sells anywhere. So it's more business and more entertaining than actually fighting the best and stuff like that. It's always been a business.
Without a doubt, man. You guys are not the same, my man. You guys are not the same, man. You, to me, are like a modern day Notorious B.I.G., man. Biggie Smalls. One of his sayings was, "I went from ashy to classy." You know what I'm saying? And I mean, for people that don't know you, let them know a little bit about, what's going on with you. What are they going to see from a fight? Why would people want to check out the Cyborg?
To be quite honest, I think the best thing that you do about checking me out is because I have so many different things to offer and gravitate towards and connect with. I talk more so about things. If you come to me, talk to me, or even see anything that I got going on in my social media, or within having a conversation with me, there's always going to be something that you could take away from, whether it's a sense of peace, a sense of mind, some advice, a sense of humor, piece, like, and also understanding that, man, he thinks just like me, or man, I didn't know that. He just can learn from me. So I think a lot of things that it comes down to is me going as hard as I need to go because of the motivation that I have from the pain that I've endured throughout my life. And anybody can connect with that, being able to find a motivation within yourself and understand that whatever you're going through is something that is temporary and can only be temporary if you let it be temporary, because you got to continue to keep pushing so you can change the circumstances of yourself. They won't change without you doing so. So a lot of things you can learn about me is, me being an MMA fighter. I'm a clothing line designer. I work with kids with autism. Also work with foster kids. Number of different sponsors. I'm an entrepreneur. Family man. I'm just a number of different things. And I think you getting to know me and through these different avenues, such as podcasts, such as following on social media, or even asking questions via DM or anything like that, I think it just gives you an inside scoop of understanding that, hey man, I go through emotions and I go through things just like you. It's just a matter of I do certain other things on a different magnitude that makes me stand out from the normal person. So, and that's obviously been my fight stuff. So. Yeah.
The American Cyborg, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is a hero right here. We got a big weekend coming up. I just want to throw a little story out there, man, just so you kind of know a good one about me. But, way back in the day, I believe my pawpaw gave my mom some money, and she took us to a water park. Okay, so it's me and my brother and her. We're at this water park. And we get in this kind of a lazy river deal, but it's got, little chutes and, pools and stuff. Well, there's one situation where, we're going down, and like my brother goes in and splash, he's at the bottom. Then I go in and splash, I'm at the bottom. And then my mom goes in and splash, she hits the bottom. And I was so young back then, AD, that she pops up out of the water. And like her thing is sticking out, right? Her thing went completely down, and I didn't know the verbiage back then. Like her boobs were showing, I didn't know the verbiage. So I'm like, mom, your thing, and I'm pointing at her, and she's like, my necklace, and I'm like, mom, your thing. She's like, my hair. And I'm like, mom, your thing. And then finally, man, a big dude beside her says, man, your titty's sticking out. And it was just like, that's just how my mom is, man. That's just a funny story I want to share about my mom, taking us knuckleheads to the water park. And I wanted to see if maybe you had a good mom story that you could share with me. Something funny maybe to you, or just something cool that we'd all like to know.
Well, my mom was, oh my goodness. My mom is like one of those, like, okay, so after me and my mom went through what we went through and stuff like that, like after, with me growing up and us learning more about each other and why we were the way we were, my mom was one of those guys that was like one of those people that's just over supportive, like with what she does. She has a way with words and just it's almost like she's living through me with what I do. So she's so aggressive with how she talks when it comes down to me fighting and everything like that. So I just remember at one of my last fight at the party, she went to my fight. She was so hyped. She would just cheer me on. Yeah, beat his ass, beat him up, beat his ass. And all that. And I remember her going to the fight after party the next week. She got so drunk. And I was babysitting her almost the whole time because she was just drinking. And then I'm sitting there in VIP, and I'm like, "Hey, 80, go get your mom, She fell." I'm like,
"Oh no!"
So I run to the dance floor, and I pick her up. She's like, "You help me up?" So I pick her up. She stops. She's like, "Hold on, this is my song." It starts dancing. She's like, "Go get me another drink." It's like, "Mom, what the?" So it was just, she's a joy to be around. I'm just glad that I'm able to put her in a position where she can finally live her life without the simple worries of when the bills are going to be paid, when am I going to eat, worrying about how she's going to be treated at work. Just more so about her being able to be her, not have to worry about taking care of so many responsibilities. So I think that's just one of the biggest things that I wanted to do for my mom, and being able to do that for her right now.
Amen.
I can accomplish, life.
You are, man. You're a man of the people, and I know you have some little ones too. So I kind of want to tell you a little story. I got a granddaughter, and this is just you know how I am as a coach, but her and one of her girlfriends a while back, they were by the pool. It was summertime and everything, and they were like, my granddaughter calls me Pawpaw, and her girlfriend says the same thing. So they're both like, "Hey, Pawpaw. We want to have a cannonball contest. Can you be the judge?" And I was like, "Absolutely. You won't find a better judge." So she goes up and her friend, and they both just kind of, they both look like they've never done it before. The splash wasn't big. The walk up wasn't big or any of that. And so, I gave them both like 4.5s. I gave them the same score. And then I told them, I said, "Now look, when you're entering any contest, you have to smile. You're pretty girls. I want to see you guys smile the best you can. And you got to walk like a very pretty lady. Walk like a pretty lady." And then I was like, "And look, your next step is when you jump, like, I don't want to be able to not even put my credit card under your vertical. Like, you got to get up, girl. Get up in the air." And then I was like, "And the third thing, you really want to tuck like a ball, and make that big splash." And man, I tell you what, the next time they both walking up, they're looking so pretty. And then both of them, doing the strut and everything. And then both of them, I mean, if they both thought they were close to the moon is how high they jumped. And then both of them, their splash was really good. But I was like, that was good. I was like, you know what? That was a solid 6.5. And, they were just so happy with that. And I think to myself, sometimes, you're not paying attention. People don't pay attention to their kids. And, what if on that first splash, somebody would have gave her a 10? You know what I mean? You would have never saw her personality come out and her enjoy it and everything. And that's the thing too that I enjoy doing is if you give her a few things to work on, dude, she's all over it, man. She's all over it. They like knowing that you can critique them and that you're trying to make it better. So yeah, that was a good story. Now I know you got a good story for me.
Man, oh, where do I start? So my girlfriend, she fosters. She has 4 foster kids. Me and her share a daughter. Her daughter. She's 2 years old, and she only knows me as dad.
Wow.
So, and then on top of that, I have two kiddos in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Okay.
So, um, I'll start with my kids. Uh, what's funny is that we were, I was down there one weekend, and we were going to wrestle. So we were going to fight and wrestle. So what we were doing was, it was like, hey, look, we're going to go ahead and have stage names. We're going to walk out to pick our song. So I'm like,
Yeah.
well, first, I'm like, all right, boom. I came out to like DX, I think. Came out to DX and everything. I had my title with me and everything. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So he was like, I want to come out of John Cena's theme. So I'm like, all right. So what's my name? He's like, okay, all right. He's like, announce your name after you come out. All right, cool. So he comes out. I'm like, what's my name? He was like, what did he call me? He said, he's like, Daddy H. It's like, what? Daddy H, like you're Triple H, like Triple H, but you're Daddy H. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm Daddy H. He's like, so what's your name? He was like, his name is Carmelo Palmore. So my name is Carmelo John Cena Palmore. It's like, you just put your name inside of. He used to put his name. I'm like, all right, cool. So he comes out. He's doing the whole thing. He's dancing and everything. So we messed up the whole living room in the room everywhere. I'm talking about head into the wall, throwing pillows everywhere. It was just a crazy little thing. It was just so fun. And then my daughter, she was the ring announcer. So
Sweet.
so you just say it was a no holds bar match. And then with my little daughter, she is 2 years old, and oh my gosh, where do I even start? She does so many things. It's so crazy. Like, man, like she's talking so much now. I don't even know what funny story to have with. Like, oh my goodness. Oh, I can just start off with this. So she had got a girlfriend. She's 2 years old, but she likes to wear everybody else's clothes. So she's in the room out of our walk-in closet and have on heels. She had my girlfriend's underwear, wearing it, one of those big show uniforms, like, and she's wearing it like that with her own underwear, my hat, and lipstick and everything over there with a bag pack. Like, where's you going with heels and only underwear, and two pair of underwear on?
Yes.
So, and then we have the other foster kids. Like, there's so many things I could just say. Like, oh my goodness, I could just say this. They are a joy to be around because anything that we do or that you do for them is a plus from the situation that they've been in. So I would literally say that sitting down and having family, like, or sitting down and having meetings with them and seeing how they go about the stuff that they do, it's almost like having them open up about how they feel about where they're at and where they come from and stuff like that. I think that's the biggest thing and most heartfelt thing, because it's almost like they're telling you how grateful they are for where they're at. And then having them go through learning processes about teaching them perspective on a day-to-day basis about what is going on and stuff. So it makes me feel at peace knowing that they're learning something from what you're offering to them, because they were in worse situations, from being sex trafficked, from being drug addicts, or hopping from house to house, prostitution, stuff like that. So being able to, give them a sense of understanding that, hey, you guys got your own age, you guys can do chores, you guys can live as kids, you don't have to grow up so early, because once you get past a certain age, you don't never get your age back, but once you get past a certain age, you can never get your childhood back. For a long time, I always wanted to get my childhood back because I felt like I never experienced it to the fullest that I wanted to. So, just almost preaching to them like, hey, your prostitution, drug addict, sex trafficking days are behind you. There are people here that love you and will continue to help you go to rehab or help you go to these different appointments for therapy and stuff like that to help you get, yourself back and your mental back, and that you don't need drugs to cope, and that you have anything in your body to help you cope. All you need is a team, people that love you. So, a little bit of motivation, a little bit of sternness, and a little bit of love, goes a long way with foster kids. So I think that's a lot that I can be able to let you know about the kids that I look after. So,
man, that was just fire right there, man. I mean, I keep saying you're an American hero. I mean, that's just unbelievable. You're making an impact on kids that, never had a good opportunity from day one. And, you know, them meeting you, you're going to change their lives. You know, you're going to later on tell them about your own story and, you know, educate them on how you went from where you are to, you know, taking care of them and making them better. And they're going to pass that on for decades and decades. And it's just such an amazing message. You know, I'm currently working on getting certified to do life coaching because I want to do more. I want to help people. I think people need somebody that they can talk to, and the people that go through the most, the most unbelievable, terrible situations, and can still come out the other side. You know, you've got that stuff that you know how it works, and you know you can help get them out of that. You know, it's a very special thing. It's a real blessing, you know, to be able to have what we're doing right now. You know, and I really appreciate the message that you're going with. And man, we're so behind you here on Total Pole Sports. Do you want to give a shout out to any sponsors or anything? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the most important thing with Valentine's Day, you know, coming up. You know, tell us about your amazing lady.
So love of my life, Alexis Bowman. She's been able to help me out with so many different things. I mean, I think that a lot of the times I find myself in these more situations with not really knowing how to not how to love properly or not being loved properly has always put me in that situation where I've always been seeking love or validation from just females in general, just from what I've experienced with like the lack of love or the broken relationship that I had with my mom before. So being able to be in a situation now that I'm being able to be invested in, not only just like, hey, look, I hope you do better, I hope you do good, but actually having her invest in me, like financially or checking in on me or being able to be there for me and like understand that I'm a work in progress still. Not saying that she's going to just, you know, be a sucker for whatever I put her through, but understand that, you know, I'm a raise the standard of what you can do for yourself and what you should be okay with doing. So, you know, we kind of been a powerhouse since we've been together, you know, and it's been very overwhelming in a sense sometimes to understand that, man, there's people out here that'll really go to hell and back for you just to make sure that life is going your way, not even just for them, but for you. So, you know, for Valentine's Day, I mean, we've been bad with doing stuff on time. So like we done already gave our Valentine's Day gifts to each other already. So like, so we'll probably that's happening. We give our gifts to like even before Christmas. We gave our Christmas gifts to each other way earlier before. Like on Christmas, we probably will surprise each other with gifts again. So it always happens like that, you know. So it's just kind of how we go about things. We it always end up happening like that. But yeah, man, we done accomplished a lot of stuff together. You know, we got cars together, houses together. I mean, you know, we just accomplished so many things, you know, businesses, ideas, and bouncing off each other, you know. So she's definitely been able to be somebody that I not only look up to, but lean on, you know, and me being somebody that I always feel like me being independent, trying to take care of everything for myself, you know, really having somebody there who wants to fight, for better in life just as much as you do. It takes the initiative to lead us to that direction as well. Definitely takes the stress off your back of feeling like, you know, you're not just a one-man empire. You can go with somebody else as well. So it's just
Man,
beautiful thing.
you nailed it, man, without a doubt. You know, my wife, she's the best thing that ever happened to me, man. Running into her, there's no better feeling than having that Bonnie to that Clyde, you know what I mean? Like she's got my back for life, and you know, she always wants what's best for me, and you know, we balance each other out. Sometimes I gotta, you know, be there and pick her up, and vice versa. She's always there to pick me up when I'm down. So we are, man. We're a great combo. We're a power couple. And yeah, man, I'm super proud of you for finding her. You know, it's such a blessing. So many people that are just out there playing the game. You know, I wish them the best. I hope they find their plus one. You know what I mean? Because it's it's an amazing thing to that's such a big thing off of your shoulders to never have to worry about when you when you do have that. But yeah, man, thank you for the opportunity. I'm gonna give a shout out to Cultivate Wellness. Health is wealth. Check out our products, cultivatewellness.com. We've got chews, we've got drinks, you name it, topicals. We're trying to help improve your life. The products that they're all affordable and everything. And with that being said, Ad Palmore, the real American cyborg, man, you just knocked it out of the park. Ladies and gentlemen, get behind this guy, man. This guy has gone through hell and back, and here he is doing what he's doing, taking care of people, living the right path, and I could not be more fired up about it. Totem Pole Sports is all in on AD, and anything you need from us, man, you let us know. We're going to get those flags made, and anything else, man, let's freaking go. I want to get some rookie cards, start autoing those bad boys. And ladies and gentlemen, if y'all want to get in touch with him for any other business inquiries, this guy can do it all, man. This guy could be a bodyguard. You name it. This guy, the sky is the limit. He got commercials. He can do it all. He is a brand. All right. Jump on this wagon right now. Jump on. Anything else, AD?
I just want to be able to give a shout out to my long list of sponsors. Revolution Lounge, my club sponsor. Also want to say Drink Alchemy, my lifestyle drink sponsor. Butler Hemco, my CBD sponsor. Optimal Wellness, my chiropractor sponsor. Tank House Flow, my faster release. That's my recovery sponsor. iCryo, which is my cryotherapy sponsor. Perfect Plate, which is my meal prep sponsor. The Arsenal, my supplement sponsor. JDW, Vinyl and Beyond is my clothing sponsor. I know I'm missing somebody.
The Bail Bonds.
Natural Body, which is my fitness sponsor, and Uncle Bill's Bails Bond, which is my Bails Bond sponsor. If you guys are needing any kind of help with Bails Bonds, I'm your guy. I can help you guys with any kind of advice or anything, or even point you in the right direction. And I think that is everyone.
Social media wise, plug your social media, guys. Follow this man right now. He's a trendsetter. He's a machine. He needs good people following him. If you're listening to us, obviously you got good taste. Well, he is checked out, but I am still here. But I believe it's the real Cyborg on Twitter. Twitter at Real Cyborg. Hold on. I think I might be able to get him back in here. Hold on. Well, we're working on getting him back in. But yeah, follow this guy. What an individual. His story speaks for itself. He's definitely a man of the people. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Thank you guys for watching Totem Pole Sports. If you can, check in the morning. We'll be on at 7 a.m. sharp. So have a great evening, and thank you guys for watching.